Welcome, ladies and gents. So, The Last of Us series creator, co-creator anyway, although I think he likes to think he is the creator of it, Neil Druckmann, the man who got loads of YouTubers copyright claimed when The Last of Us Part 2 was happening, arsehole. He has decided to come out and be like, oh, hey, actually, not making many video games anymore. I wonder why. Maybe it's because you and your ilk have infected so many nonsense agendas into video games that the video game industry for AAA titles isn't actually doing particularly well. And you want to get out whilst you can. I bet it's partly that. So let's check this out, guys. Turn the bell notifications on and subscribe. But yeah, so look, he basically says, look, I'm going to wind down the video games because I don't have that many big budget titles left in him. Or in me, he says. Which, you know, I'm not going to say it's a massive surprise. It's going to be good news for people, generally, but it's not a surprise. So, as this article states, in a development that obviously will be pleasing a whole bunch of individuals, because, of course, he likes to think he was the creator, the god's gift to video games at Naughty Dog Studios. Neil Druckmann has admitted that the prospect of winding down his video game work is becoming more and more appealing to him every day. And I think that's because he's also trying to make a concerted effort to go into different media, you know, storytelling through series and movies. So Druckmann provided his insight into his current outlook on life during an appearance on the 7th episode of rapper Logic's Logically Speaking podcast. Asked by the show's eponymous host, do you see yourself making video games forever, or have new passions arisen in you? So the Naughty Dog creative director admitted that while he's had other opportunities that he's really enjoyed, like working on the HBO show, working on the Last of Us themed haunted house for Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, in terms of video games, I don't see myself doing this forever at this scale. It's just a lot and it takes a lot out of you. He says it's just stressful to manage that many people in multiple studios worldwide. Also probably stressful trying to convince everyone to keep their job when you're doing, you know, making them do crunch time, right? I'm sure that's part of it. So turning to provide an explanation as to the main reason behind his changing attitude towards his career, Druckmann said, you were talking earlier in the conversation about how you're entering this new phase in your life where your kids are number one, and I'm in a similar place where my kids are number one. My daughter is now 13. What? It took you until your daughter was 13 for your kids to be number one? Alright. And I feel like life is pulling her away from me. So I know that time is limited, so it's very precious to me when they want to spend time with me. So that's number one. So, yeah, I've just hit a point in my life where it's like, what's the end game here? When is it time to call it? I can't... Kid out. That's so funny. Like, your kids are your number one. Well, my daughter's 13. She's now my number one. Good. Good one then, Neil. And as if that weren't clear enough from both his earlier statements. So he says, Druckmann dropped a major hint that his prospective future lay in Hollywood, revealing that he'd been looking to director Quentin Tarantino for inspiration as to his next career move. God damn it, no, Neil. Stay out of Hollywood. And you know, I've been watching a lot of interviews of Quentin Tarantino, and his whole thing is, I'm going to make 10 movies and that's it. And I'm very curious whether he sticks to that. I think he'll probably do other stuff, like he'll do TV shows. So I could see myself transitioning to something that's more low-key and lower stress that still allows me to have this creative outlet. You think a movie's lower stress? Are you mental? But you know, I've started thinking about how many more of these games do I have in me, and it's not that many. Goodness me. Goodness me. So he'll be doing Last of Us Season 2. We've got this... I still don't understand why they did this Last of Us Part 2 like remaster. It's just graphics upgrade, isn't it? That's a weird thing to well, they're just cashing in on it, basically. There you go. I mean, there's not much else really to say here. I just think God, please don't join Hollywood, Neil. Please don't. Please don't. You'd fit right in, because, you know, they're assholes as well. And they love to copyright claim wrongly as well. But isn't it funny? And we see this quite a lot, to lay it to a political angle. You see a lot of Democrat-run states where people obviously vote in a whole bunch of garbage that destroys their state. And then you see them moving out of state. And you're like, right, so you've destroyed one place. You don't want to live there. So then you want to live somewhere else that's got better values and is just generally a better place. So then you're going to go there and still probably vote for the same nonsense, even though you moved because you hate it, because you destroyed it. It's the same thing here. This guy has absolutely aided in the destruction of the video game industry. And he's aided that. It's downfall now. And then he's going to go to Hollywood and just go and help that as well. Like, okay, so the rats jump ship, but they always jump to another ship. And it's just funny that he admits it. It's like, yeah, you know, I don't have that many left in me. And since when was a movie less stress than a video game? Like, I understand you're probably thinking, like, oh, well, you know, less stress because not so many managerial positions, you know, not managing so many people. But, I mean, my God, you would be. You're still managing a lot of people. Absolutely absurd. But, you know, this stuff's funny. I think this chap is absolutely infinitely hilarious. Those Naughty Dog copyright claims were a joke. Came from the Muso group, if I remember rightly. Oh, God, they annoyed me so much back in the day. They really did not like their video game getting out there before it was shared, because people were pissed. So you destroy video games, you help anyway. And now, Neil, you think, for some bizarre reason, you're like Quentin Tarantino. You're looking to Quentin Tarantino for inspiration. Well, he's a little bit more articulate than you, good sir. He's got a little bit more going on in his noggin. So there you go. What do you think? I mean, AAA studios are dead anyway. They are. They're dead. No one cares about them because they keep fundamentally releasing broken video games every single time a release comes out. Whereas other games, smaller, more independent video games companies, they just release a game and it works. Oh, and sometimes it's good. Like, oh, wow, okay, cool. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. Love to hear it. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye now.